It is season 3 of Everyone Sucks Here, and we are back for a brand new season after our break. Starting off with brand new Minisode, the very first Minisode of season 3. How was your guys' break?
It was a break. It was a break. It was a good thing that all of us got to have the break when we did. Honestly, I think
for various reasons.
Yeah.
It was a necessary break.
Yeah, it was a necessary break, and it was nice to not have to worry about recording because we all had a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I genuinely enjoyed the break. I was trying to kind of avoid, not saying I don't want to be in anything, but I was pretty much trying to stay off of any sort of I was trying to stay out of my personal gilded and the ESH guild and all that stuff. I'm trying because I don't want to interact with anybody. I literally wanted. I mean, it's literally just thing. I want
it
to.
was our break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to just enjoy a break and just be in my own thing and just not have to worry about anything and just play some fucking video games and relax
Sometimes
as best as possible.
You quite literally have to step away from any and all things internet, Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff. You have to step away from it. Besides the obvious burnout, it is very hard as a content creator to be constantly talking and socializing, and especially I can't speak for everybody here, but I mean I know I'm an introvert. I have to take that time away to recharge. I do.
Yeah.
To be
constantly
everywhere and having 50 different micro conversations with a million different people.
That's it.
Exhausting.
That's it. It's the micro conversations. It really is. That hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is people don't realize that, I like interacting with the communities, but at the same time, people don't realize just how many conversations you have going at once.
Yeah. And obviously, and especially because we're women, once we state our boundaries, we come off as a bitch. And it's
yep.
I'm not trying to be a bitch, but it's very difficult to keep up with, hey, how you doing? How's your day? With all the DMs, just put it in one place, please.
Yeah.
Put it in one place. It's not personal.
That's a big issue just in general with a lot of I don't know if it's people in a content creation space or just in general with larger friend groups or whatever, is it always seems to be there's always the breakaways, you might be a little bit closer with a couple of people in a community, but at the same time then you end up with it's almost if you open that door to one person, everybody wants to have their own private DM session.
Everyone wants their own private I'm really friends with this content creator. And it's not that we're not genuinely friends or friendly with everyone, but it's it's impossible. It is
impossible.
So much time in the day.
And
in real life, it's impossible to have that many friends. You cannot have that many friends. You can't nurse those relationships. So it's impossible when you have a regular 30 people sitting in your chat too.
And I think it's better to just have the whole point of building a community is that the community should be able to exist and continue without you. You shouldn't be the one fucking holding up the community at all fucking times, because you are not supposed to be the person who's supposed to be entertaining these people and outside of what it is you're doing. Okay, you make this thing, cool. You have a community hub or whatever, cool. But at that point, the community should be able to talk amongst themselves and chat, and you can join and everybody can have a good time. But there has to be some finality of leave it there.
You can't be accessible 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you also, it's hard to balance because if you're not accessible 24/7 to every single person, then you come off as a bitch.
Yep. Yeah.
Or oh, she thinks she's better. It's no, it's really not that. It's that everything has their own hub for a reason.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get it.
I definitely
there's a hub. You have your own hub. I have my own hub. There's a hub for the Everyone Sucks Here podcast, and it needs to be contained.
Yeah, of course. I definitely know what that feels like, especially recently. I've had a few DMs going off where people who follow me, and I have no idea who they are. They just randomly DM me, and they send me pictures. And, of course, I don't open them I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. I don't follow.
Oh my
I don't
God,
know
yeah,
who
the
you
pictures,
are.
I
I'm not
definitely
gonna
don't open up
I'm not gonna
pictures.
open this
No.
picture and then to consistently, because I do not reply, then constantly DM me like, oh, you know, I guess not, or these little microaggressions in these DMs. This is not going to get me to reply to you any further. And you can unfollow me if you think that I'm being a bitch, because I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are.
Even if we do know who they are, it happens also.
The guilt trips.
Well, I guess not. Or
the guilt trips.
Too big now, and it's like
don't guilt trip me. That's the fastest way to make it to my shit list.
Yeah.
That is the fastest way.
Like Sam and I talk about this all the time offline, but I guess we're here now. We're already doing it. But it's like it's hard to like quote unquote complain about it, because then other people are like, oh, just content creators complaining. It's like
that is a big problem too. People need to understand that it's like you see somebody tweet on Twitter like, man, I wish that I could just play a video game and enjoy it. And there's always somebody who comes in and goes, well, I wish my job was just playing video games all day, every day, and making money off of it. Try doing a real job like construction work.
Oh my God, I get those all the time, and they actually make me sad. They make me really sad.
The big...
I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
Or when someone says like, oh, I guess it would be really cool if I was on set or like doing shit on TV. Well, I guess I'll just work, but whatever the fuck. I'm like, it's still a job.
It's still a job.
Hard.
Yeah, it's still a job. It's still mental energy.
It's not glamorous at all.
It's still mental energy. It's still a skill that you have to possess, and people don't get that. People think it's just you doing this really fun thing.
I think,
and that's it.
So here's the thing with that stuff too, and this is a conversation that I never see, because people, especially on Twitter, you always see the fucking constant, like, the same fucking recycled content creator discussions and arguments and stuff, right? What really needs to happen is content creators, especially smaller ones, need to be more open with the amount of money they make, and to show that, look, the amount of money that like smaller content creators make is not in any way balanced or equal to the amount of stress that goes into the actual position and the work itself.
You're doing 80 hours of work to still live under the poverty line.
Yeah, like it's literally, it is literally less than minimum wage.
You could work at any drugstore and make more money.
It is absolutely less than minimum wage. And like, people are open and they talk about like, okay, there is a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and there is, you have a lot of things that, when you're not just playing a game, you're working on your fucking graphics, or you're doing fucking sound design, or you're working on video, whatever the fuck it is you're doing. There's a lot of stuff that is, getting everything working at the end of the day. Before you fucking go live, if there's any fucking issues with your computer, then now you're suddenly a fucking tech, and you gotta, do I need to swap out these parts? I gotta rebuild this bullshit. Like, it is every possible thing that you could do all lumped together, and to get paid less than minimum wage. And people don't talk about that, so everybody just assumes like, you're getting paid, so you're getting paid to play video games. It's like, yeah, but there's a lot more.
Making six figures.
Yeah, there's a lot more stress that goes into it, and it is infinitely harder. And I mean, I'll fucking stake this claim right now. That is way the fuck harder to be a small content creator than it is to be a large content creator. Because at the very end of the day,
resources.
Exactly. At the very end of the day, a large content creator, like, yeah, they may be juggling like, like the stress of keeping up their fucking shit, but not only do they not have to...
That's very valid, but they can still, like, they have resources to outsource things.
They have resources. Yeah. They get fucking paid, and they can export a lot of that stuff too, right?
They literally can get editors. They can get management.
Exactly. They can get everyone to do everything
and
for them.
And it's still a job, like managing all of that. That's still a big thing. Yes. But like a lot of the like learning curve of like, okay, I want to do this transition. I have to go learn about that now.
Yeah, exactly. And
they don't have to do it. They can pay someone to do it.
When you're a smaller content creator, you have all of that on your own shoulders, and you have to just do it all yourself. You can't pay someone else to do it. while also not. So like and anything you do need, you end up having to pay a lot more for too, because like when you hit a certain level, you're gonna get like more discounts towards bullshit because people want, oh man, this person can use my stuff. Yeah, I'll give them a discount just to make sure I'm their artist or whatever the fuck, like it's like it is just.
It's like when you become a celebrity and you go to the award show and then they just start handing out these goodie bags full of like full of shit.
Essentially what it boils down to is anytime someone says, I wish I could just get paid to play video games, you sound really fucking ignorant. And it just makes you sound stupid, and there's nowhere that anybody can go from that conversation without them having to educate you about it.
And that, you're absolutely right, AJ.
Like,
and that itself is exhausting, and it like makes me sad because I don't know what I'm supposed to fucking say.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just getting paid to play video games. Like, I'm babysitting the entire situation, right? I have to take care of all the tech issues and make sure my internet doesn't go out, make sure my neighbors aren't complaining that I'm being too loud. Is it,
There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot. And to be anywhere near successful at it, not only do you need to learn how to work different social media platforms, but also be successful at all of them at the same time.
Yeah, and they're all different.
And they're all different in each and every way.
When you figure one out, the next one is completely different. So you can't really like just co-opt what you learned, like let's say on Twitter to TikTok. It's not how it works.
Twitch is different from YouTube.
Yeah,
Twitter is different from Instagram.
YouTube, very different.
It's a lot, and on top of tech issues, on top of doing all of that, can it be done? Yes, of course it can be done, but it is very mentally draining, which is why people need to take.
With a smile.
And you have to be positive the whole time, or else you're a fucking bitch.
And also, like, just to top it off too, with like all of that shit, at the very fucking end of the day, like you said, people aren't typically playing the games they want to play, right?
Yep.
And like for people who do like
playing games that they can tolerate for 8 hours,
and that's and for like people who do YouTube stuff, people like you don't ever like have the time to play the games. It's like, oh man, you were gonna talk about this thing, right? So you're gonna just endlessly play the same fucking game to talk about it. Therefore, letting all your other shit just go idle, and now it's like that game that you just want to talk about became work. Like because it's just some bullshit that you're doing to just work on something. So like I don't know, people don't get it, and that's fine. But at the same time, it's like if you don't understand it, just don't even fucking like talk about literally anything else, because literally nobody wants to talk about their fucking job all the time. Like like I have a fucking a job that I do, right? But don't talk to me about it, because I don't want to talk to you about it. Like, I don't want to talk about the job that I do that pays my bills, because that's not a thing that I give a shit to talk about.
It's not a passion.
Like, it's not a passion. So, like, and not saying that, like, content creation isn't a passion for people who are doing it, but it's still their fucking job. And, like, when you get away from it and you're just trying to enjoy life and have a conversation, what's the last thing you want to talk about? Your fucking job, like...
I think one thing, too, is, and I know we've discussed this before, but when you become a content creator, especially in like kind of like a niche area like Twitch, or I'm assuming it'd probably be the same for people in YouTube too,
podcasts
or podcasting, the people that you can relate to are other content creators, right?
Yes.
So it's very hard to find people to talk with and communicate with and be friends with outside that community, to get away from it, because and I know this personally for myself, like when people ask, oh well, what do you do, I don't want to go down that road of explaining what it is to be a Twitch streamer, because I mean,
talking about it in real life.
I mean, half the time, obviously people don't take you seriously, right? Or
you
people
play video games on the internet,
or people, or if you say live streamer, people immediately go to porn.
Girl.
A fucking e-girl doing some, or cam girl, which is fine. It's fine. That's a fine job, but having to explain, no, that's not what I do. It just gets tiring. It's a tiring conversation. At this point, I'd much rather be a cam girl and go, yes, I do porn. It's fine, Right. Like, I feel like that'd be easier. I feel like it'd be easier to explain. Like, yes, men pay me money to just sit on a camera and pop balloons with my butthole. Like, it's so much easier than to explain. Yes, I do. SL1 runs on Dark Souls, and men pay me to what? How many times have I tried to explain that to my brother?
It's like, it's less believable to other people in real life for them to like comprehend that I play video games live on a website. And it's completely safe for work. It's like whatever. And people are there and they show up and I happen to get paid for it versus me being a cam girl.
I've seen
that's more believable.
Yeah, I've seen so many conversations. And I've actually seen so many conversations of women who are my age who have young children who watch like, Minecraft streamers and stuff, and they have these conversations among themselves going, why does my kid not want to play the game but want to watch these other people play it? And it's like, I don't know
why the NFL exists.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Why does your husband want to watch football so fucking bad? Because he can't play. He sucks.
They just want to watch it.
They just want to watch it.
Or they can't afford it. That's another thing that I've had to explain to people in real life. Video gaming, even on the cheapest console, is very expensive. It's a luxury thing.
Yeah.
It is.
The very cheapest thing is still a luxury at the end of the day. But just turning on twitch.tv or YouTube or whatever is free.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's still a way for people to experience a game, things that are new and current that they wouldn't be able to access, and they can vicariously experience it. And I feel like that is such a thing that people don't understand. Not only do people not want to actually play video games all the time themselves, it's just easier to watch. Sometimes people just can't afford it, and that's okay.
Yeah. That is a big thing too, is like the cost of it, especially when it comes to like a new console, right? Who the fuck can get a PS5 right now, but they really want to see what the new Demon Souls is like, So it's like, okay, cool. Like,
exactly.
I'll watch somebody play it, because you can't even get a PS5 even if you can't afford it.
Exactly.
So like, it's just there's a lot of different things like that where, and especially with like, there is more to just playing, like, oh, I'm just playing a video game. Obviously, there's the personality that goes along with it. Some people, it's more entertaining to play a certain game than other people, just depending on how their personality is and how they perceive a certain game or how they are with the game,
or how much they know about it. Like if they just happen to know a lot about the franchise or whatever.
And it goes both ways. There's people I could never watch them play because it's just like infuriatingly bad, So I'm like, I'm just gonna choose not to watch it. It's not my type of content to watch, so like I won't watch it. Other people want to see somebody that's just terribly bad at a game, So like that might be something that somebody really loved because they find it hilarious. So it's all over the fucking place. But like there is definitely a huge lack of understanding with what goes into content creation, a huge lack of understanding of the barriers that people have to put up. The content creators are the people who have to put up to not just be so fucking accessible all the time, like, and that's a thing that like I fucking hate is I hate the idea of like just constantly being available. Like I've talked to Sam about this before. Like, I sit there and go, God, should I just fucking delete my Twitter? Like at all, because like I have this thought probably once a week. I legitimately don't know why I have a Twitter anymore, because like back when I made the Twitter account in fucking 2008 or 2009, back when Twitter was just like 140 characters of some random fucking thoughts and a drill or whatever the fuck that account was, like, and just dumb shit like esoteric thoughts. That was it. And now it's become just nonsense, like it's another political platform, which is like great. Can't even fucking escape from that. And it's nothing. I can't even look at Twitter in a healthy way because there are literal like fucking like psychopaths and people that I hate that I've literally gone out of my way to block. But Twitter's bullshit is like, oh, well, you blocked this dude, but this other person that you follow, they retweeted them. well, why can I see it then? You know? So like, I can't even filter my shit down. Yeah, I can't. Like, so I try to filter my shit and like, I just want to look at funny video game things. That's all I want to do. You know, I want to look at funny video game things.
It's really hard to filter it and like get those things back on your timeline when they're just trying to show you the top posts.
Yeah, and especially when you made the mistake of fucking following content creators. And it's like, fuck, I wish I'd never followed any of these people. And it's not anything against them as people, but it's the fact that like one of the most, it's what it comes with, and it's the fact that like, kind of circling back to what we were talking with before, it's there are way too many content creators that defines them as a fucking person, and it is all they talk about, it is all they live, it is all they do, and it is the most boring fucking existence. If I wanted to follow somebody, it's because I think they might be interesting, not because I give a shit when they're going live on their fucking Twitch stream, or not because I give a shit that they're doing anything else that's content created. Like, man, you're a pretty funny person in real life, so I follow you. And then all your fucking Twitter is like your fucking Twitch shit. I don't care. You know, like keep that shit on Twitch, keep that shit on YouTube, keep that shit wherever the fuck you want to put it at. But like, if some of what you talk about should be that, yeah, because that's a thing you do. But if it's all you do and the only posts you ever make ever are go look at my content, then why the fuck am I following you? If because I already follow you over there too. You know, I don't need to have another fucking door to your house. I know where the fucking front door is. I don't need a back door too over here. Like, do something else. And like, so many content creators just fall into this fucking hole where it is their life. It's all they know how to talk about. It's all they ever do. And it's almost like a curse. And I almost feel bad because, I mean, I've fallen into that too. I feel like everybody does to a degree, but it's a matter of like getting yourself back out of it. But like, there's a lot of people who, when they're not making content, they're constantly thinking about what they should be doing or what they should be making. It's like, fucking, you're not doing anything. Literally do anything else. Watch a fucking movie, read a book, go outside, do literally anything else besides focusing on this fucking one website. Like, holy shit. Like
I mean, that's how you get burnout. It really is. That's immediately how you get burnout, is by only focusing on that. And content creators,
content. Everything has to be content.
The guilt of it not being content is a real thing. The enjoyment you get from playing a game offline, but then going, oh, this could have been content, is insane. It's insane. It's insane. This job is actually insane.
When we play video games together, sometimes it comes out of our mouth, both of us.
I mean, think about this. Like, and that's just it.
Be able to just vibe and not be on.
Oh yeah.
I literally said earlier before we were recording, I was telling these stories about our dog Koji, and we were cracking up laughing, and I literally said, damn, I should have been recording that. That's the exact same fucking thing. Even just us telling these casual stories, and I was like, I should have been recording that because that would have been funny on the podcast, because it was like, we're all laughing, so it would have been great on there. But at the same time, it's like, we should also be able to have a conversation and laugh amongst ourselves without having to fucking record it.
Without having to share it with
without having to share it too.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, we shouldn't have to share every, like, you know, we should be able to take like a fucking vacation or whatever and not like, and maybe take a picture because we want to enjoy it and go, man, that was a cool thing to look back on, and not fucking post it though, you know, like remember taking pictures and looking at them yourself.
Remember looking at pictures,
like, photo albums.
Like, you know, like, how often does anyone
I don't even own one.
How often does anyone look through their own fucking Instagram and go, man, that was a good time? You know, nobody fucking does that. They look at their Instagram because they post something and they turn it off. Never again. Never look at it again. And I think that's a big thing with, like, not to like fucking suck my own dick with my content or anything, but I think that's a big thing that, like, if you can make any form of content and then you can go back and enjoy it yourself, I think that's a success. So like, the videos that I make, I can literally go back and watch my own videos and genuinely enjoy them. And I think that's a big fucking thing. And I think, sorry guys if you hear fucking random panting, by the way. I mentioned our dog. Koji's been a mess. He's panting. He's going to be here the whole time. So if you do hear him, that's what that is. If you don't, great. But if you do, he's occasionally coughing and panting.
Good boy.
He's just being a dog and being a good boy.
He's being anxious.
He's being an anxious boy. But but like, if you can go back and you can look at your own pictures, you can look at your own videos, you can look at your past streams, and you can enjoy it, then congratulations. You did your fucking thing properly. Mm-hmm. If you can listen to your podcast, your own podcast, and laugh, you did a fucking good job. You know, like, but if you're just putting it out there and putting it out there to forget about it, I think that's like you're going down the wrong path of like.
I mean, if you don't enjoy it, then no one else is gonna enjoy it.
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. You know how many fucking times I've had to hear Sam's TikToks because she watches her own TikToks because she was blowing up on there?
Wow.
But it's because she enjoys them too.
Wow.
Like,
wow.
I'll literally hear I'll hear that shit like on loop. And I know a lot of times it's because she's checking comments, you know, like, and she's replying to people, and TikTok is fucking stupid where they just keep playing your own shit over. Like, okay, I get it. I'm trying to reply to fucking comments here, dude. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, that's another update for those of you who didn't know. Sam is a TikTok star now, apparently.
Oh,
so yeah, she's blowing up on there. So if you guys got TikTok and you need that 30-second dopamine fix,
right? And that's what TikTok is too. 30 seconds of dopamine for 5 hours because you know you're gonna spend
5 hours and then your life disappears.
then they hit you with that. Hey, we just noticed that you've been on here for a while. You want to go to sleep, maybe?
Blocked all those. I'll
You can block them? You can block them? Oh, fuck, I'm going to block them. I didn't know you could do that.
Hey, take a moment to drink some water. Shut the fuck up.
I've been drinking water this whole time. Been doing nothing but drinking water and watching TikTok. Fuck off.
That's the fucking Nintendo method of, we noticed you've been playing the game for a while. Would you like to take a break? No, motherfucker. I'm in the middle of a boss fight right now. Like, go away. Man.
Well,
now that we've rambled for this long, I guess I should get to my stories.
Yeah, probably. It's a mini-sode, and yet here we are.
But you know what? We said that season 3 was going to be different. So we've opened up season 3 to talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. So we're still going to have our stories. But at the same time, I'm not going to fucking feel bad about talking about things we want to talk about. Because it's our fucking podcast, goddammit. So that's our thing. But you know what?
True.
I wanted to start us off with a classic, so I'm doing just that.
A classic, ooh.
A classic in the sense that it's an Am I the Asshole?
Oh.
You know, like that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So
Classic assholes.
this is Am I the Asshole for wanting to walk into my first home without my wife? So
Jesus.
my wife, 25 female, and I, 27 male, have been married 6 months now. I have a good job in sales and have managed to save enough to get together a deposit for a house. It is true that my parents have helped me quite a bit too financially.
Oh.
My wife has not been employed very consistently. She has worked as a model but hasn't saved much at all. I bought the house and the estate agent handed over the keys to me. My wife wasn't there at the handover. I was obviously super excited to get to show her the house and for us to start our lives together. We drove up to the house yesterday. I said to her while we sat in the car outside, "Is it okay if I go in alone first, just so I can have a moment alone in my first home?" I felt that it was a significant moment in my life and that I wanted to experience it alone, even if it was for 30 seconds. My wife was upset about this and has been off with me ever since. We have moved some of our stuff in, but she's clearly pissed. I think she's being selfish. My brother says I'm being ridiculous. Now I'll get to the edit in a second, but based off of that, what do you guys think?
Oh my fucking God. This man was not ready to be married.
No, not at all.
Not ready to be married at all. Okay,
No.
First of all, red flag. Oh, it is true that my parents have helped me out quite a bit financially, but fuck my wife. She hasn't been employed very consistently. Maybe she didn't have the same fucking help you obviously did, you fucking idiot.
Or it's a completely different career path.
Like,
Or
you're married.
Yeah.
Guess what? When you're married, I'm sorry, but you share shit. And one of those sharing things is the asset of a house. All right?
You think, like, if they get in an argument, he'd be like, "It's my house."
Yep.
That's-
100%. 100%.
That's the biggest thing that I'm picking up from that is that it's this mindset of
my house.
It's my house. Well, you've been married. It's your house. Like
It's your house. You're married. It's not your girlfriend. Like,
in all of my, I would not be able to let that go. You just ruined our first house. Literally, we've had this house for 30 seconds.
you
ruined it.
I feel like the whole marriage should be rethought.
And here's the thing too with this, right? This moment that he wants to have. You can't have that silently to yourself with your wife there. You know, like what I mean? Like you can
Something can just stay in your head.
Exactly. Like I'm saying, like you can literally go in there together and you can just kind of take it all in. Like, is your wife standing there really gonna upset this? Like, I guess I just don't understand how her existence is going to ruin this moment for you.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
what is it about her being there with you Like,
people do not understand that the thoughts that you have do not have to be shared with everybody. You do not have to fucking say these things to the person that you're married to. You can keep that shit to your fucking self.
Yeah.
Why? Guess what? Now you're unhappy because she's unhappy, and she's unhappy because you're an idiot. like you.
Oh my God.
This makes me so angry. I cannot believe he would not want to share this thing.
Or that he thinks that it's not equally her house.
That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't. You can tell he doesn't.
The top comment says, "You're the asshole, and you know what else? Since it's your house, you get to do all the cleaning, maintenance, etc." She's just a dumb model, so she probably couldn't figure out those things anyway.
Yeah, sarcasm at the end. Yeah.
Basically, everyone said that they're the asshole. And
Good.
So here's the edit.
Okay.
Thanks for the comments, guys. I wasn't expecting that much of a response. I do see that all the replies are leaning towards me being the asshole. I've decided to apologize to my wife properly. I think I was caught up in the emotional intensity of the milestone. Thanks.
I'm sorry, but I really do feel like this is like him going to his own wedding and going, hang on, don't walk down the aisle yet. I just want to enjoy this by myself at the altar.
Like I need the spotlight on me for a moment.
What a milestone for me.
What a milestone for me that my parents helped me so immensely that I was able to afford this house by myself without your help whatsoever, even though we're married and we share the same assets.
Yeah.
Literally that.
I'm sorry.
That.
Where sign that prenup?
That he got help from his parents. So the house wouldn't have been purchased without the help of his parents, but she did nothing.
But she did nothing.
You did nothing also. Like, hello?
Oh my God. I don't even care that he apologizes. I fucking hate him.
Because that was his initial, instinct.
That part right there.
Go away.
That part right there.
But your mindset, it doesn't matter that you apologize. Yes, it's great that you apologize, but you feel that is not her home.
Yeah, and the thing too is, if I was her, I would never feel like that was my house, because he would just
now
hearing that.
He's gonna hold it over her head.
Yeah, just hearing that sentence, even though he apologized, and also, I think people need to realize that just because you apologize about it doesn't make it go away.
Yeah,
you still did this, and even though you are sorry that you did it, it is something that we still collectively have to live with. It still happened. And just because you apologize doesn't make my feelings towards it go away. That is, I of course can't think.
Well, in that regards, I think that gets a little wishy-washy, and you have to be careful with that kind of stuff, because you're right. You're right that it doesn't make it go away. But I do think, and especially, I don't know if it's just with things today and how things are. Okay, yes. Forgiveness is something that it shouldn't just be given, it has to be earned, right? Yeah. Forgiveness has to be earned. However, I think that nowadays I don't know if there's been a tonal shift or what, but it seems like there are a lot of people who are genuinely so on board or jumping into this boat of, I don't accept apologies and that's it, and I don't like apologies, and never say you're sorry, and don't ever do this because it doesn't matter. And it's like, okay, but now you're being part of the problem, and now it's being very defeatist. If somebody is genuinely bearing their heart out, and they're like, I fucked up. I will take responsibility for this, and I did this, and you never actually forgive them, it does become your onus now. Now this problem is something yeah, you can take whatever time you need to forgive them, but if you choose to never ever forgive them, then you're also not working towards something. And I feel like nowadays it's become a lot more common to not forgive people and not let things go. Forgiveness has fucking gone away as of late. And I'm not saying that to be hyperbolic, but it's just kind of what I've been witnessing is the moment somebody fucks up, that becomes what they are. They fucked up. They are a terrible person from now on. Remember that time they did this thing? Well, fuck, I'm trying not to, it just becomes the badge that they have to fucking wear because they fucking made a mistake or they did something stupid. And it's I don't know, not to look too far into it, but I do think to a certain degree, it's we have to learn to fucking actually forgive people. Yes, this dude fucked up and he's an asshole. And he deserved, he should give whatever a proper apology is to his wife. Now, I'm not saying she should forgive him. I think that's too fucking much. Like, she should do it, but it is up to her to choose to forgive him, and hopefully she does hopefully she does, because the thing is, people fuck up, man. Like, people make mistakes, and like, people make dumb, selfish choices. There are things that we all fucking do where we've done the selfish thing unintentionally or just fucking whatever, and if you own it and you realize, fuck, that was my bad, and I understand why you are upset, and you have every right to be upset, and I did fuck up, then you also deserve.
Do you think he sees it that way, though?
I don't know.
Think he's thinking that, you know?
I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying that, like, I do.
Never know, because it's just
like, we don't know, because we just based off of what we've seen with this, who fucking knows? But I'm just saying, like, I do think it is a thing where people lately are so stuck on never accepting apologies, and I think that's just as damaging nowadays. It's because at that point it's like, well, one fuck up and you're done, you know, like that's what it basically boils down to. Like, people can't, like, they can't have a back and forth anymore
or they can't grow.
Yeah, they can't grow. And a lot of times too, the same people who I hate apologies are people who also don't apologize for their behavior either. It's like, it's a thing that's like, it's just this weird thing that we've kind of like as society has fallen into, where it's like, people can't be humble, and they can't be forgiven, and they can't apologize. And it's like, man, again, we have to remember, people fuck up. People do make mistakes, and you can be an asshole, and you are an asshole in the situation. And he was told that he was the asshole, but I don't want to, like, just brand a person for their fucking entire life because of some stupid shit. Yeah, and what he did was very selfish. You know, that's a fucking, and that's why I was gonna read this comment here, because I don't know if, well, I'm assuming they're a woman. That's my assumption. Who knows? But it says, agreed. The whole attitude really steams my beans. I don't. Steams my beans. Like, I make more money than my fiance, and pay more than double the rent that they do. Our apartment is, and one day our house will be ours. You know why? Our cost of living isn't just the money cost, it's also the time cost. My partner does the bulk of cooking and cleaning and taking care of the pets and absorbing most of the time cost. I would not be nearly as successful without my partner's support. They encouraged and supported me throughout my masters. They cheer me on every day. They encourage me to take care of myself. And without that encouragement, I very likely wouldn't be well enough to work. They're my partner, and I share my life with them, and our relationship doesn't come with an invoice, you absolute fucking cheese board. Wasn't expecting that last part there, but calling someone a cheese board. But and that's just it. It's
mindset, though.
It's a partnership. You are with somebody, especially if you've chosen to marry this person. You are with them.
I feel like there's a huge, especially with relationships, there is a huge problem with it became stereotypical that a partnership is 50-50. It's not. It's not. A good relationship is not 50-50. Someone always takes something. There is always, whether it's 60-40 or 70-30, there is literally, whether it's financially, emotionally, responsibilities with the house, working, it is never 50-50. But for it to work, both parties have to realize that and not hold it. It works together. Yeah. It fits like a puzzle piece. And also, they don't hold it over each other.
Right, because it's a partnership.
It's a partnership.
Well, I would say even to that note, I would take it even like a step further, I guess, and say that we just need to get rid of the idea of fucking fractions and percents to begin with. Because when you start saying things like, say you say things like 50-50, right? What people might view as 50-50 is like, okay, so I do all the work and she does all the cleaning. So now you're basically saying that like the house cleaning and the chores and the cooking is equal to this job or equal to this money that's brought in. And ultimately it comes down to like,
that's all semantics.
Well, that's the point. I'm saying it's all semantics, and when you start breaking it down that way, the moment someone doesn't do a thing, then they go, well, you know, I'm bringing in all this, and you're only cooking, and suddenly it becomes this thing,
a power shift.
Exactly. So like, you need. I think people need to get away from the whole idea of. Like we do exactly, man, just fucking work together. Literally, whatever situation you end up in, whether it's one person works more or one person cleans more or one person works and cleans and the other person's just fucking there to be financial or to be like emotional support, whatever the fuck works for you in your relationship, just let it work and amongst yourselves, and if it works, then that's it. You know, don't let other people, because like another thing too is I feel like people will let people get into their heads. You know, people will be like, they might discuss with their friends or whatever the fuck, and they'll go, oh, so you know, so they don't work, huh? You know, like that. It's again, like there's little microaggressions that other people put in their heads, so they just stay home. Well, and then suddenly you have to justify to your friends why your partner is doing what they're doing. And it's like, you shouldn't have to justify anything. Yeah, because this is a thing.
It's not your relationship.
It's not your relationship, and we're happy. So who gives a fuck? Why are you know, your opinion doesn't matter here. Like, this is something we've chosen. Yeah, they stay home, and they do a fucking great job staying home. You know, like, it's like people, everybody wants to have an opinion about, like, other people's relationships with that kind of shit. It's like, if they're happy, then who fucking cares? Like, get away from this idea of like 50-50. Get away from this idea of percentages and who does what. It's whatever they have come up with in their relationship that works for them. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it is a partnership. So whatever comes up with whatever like load that you guys are bearing together, everything you own is still shared. It is still yours together. And that's the big thing that people need to fucking get through their heads. Like, you did this, okay, you bring in the money and you married her and she's a model, but you got the house and it's your house. You're living there together. It's your house. She shouldn't be saying, "Oh, my husband's house." You know, like that's
I wonder
that's so offensive.
I wonder how much he's told his friends, "Yeah, she was a model."
Right? He's used that. He's used the positive part about it.
He's used the positive part, but
like he's like, "Oh yeah, my
now it's no value.
My wife's a model." Yeah, it's the positive part when it's about her looks, and it's never and it's the negative part when it's about finances. It's the oh yeah, check out my smoking hot wife. She's a model, right? To show her off as a trophy.
But she's poor.
Well, no, it's not that. It's the she's my trophy, right? Yeah. But then
isn't work.
Exactly. But then when it comes in, it's but she's just a model when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
It's whatever you need it to be at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yep. I thought I picked the story because, you know, I figured we'd go with a classic to start off season 3. But I do think, you know, my overall thing with it is I do think people need to get more on board with forgiveness and accepting fucking apologies. I don't think people should just immediately fucking do it. It's up to the person. But oh my God, Koji. But like, that's my takeaway. I do think people need to be. Because when I saw the edit, I was like, okay, at least he fucking owned it. A lot of these people don't fucking own it. They double down.
Yeah.
And so, like, I thought the fact that he owned it was like, okay, cool. So, I do have another thing here, which was I thought this would be fitting for all of us. It's an Ask Reddit.
Oh, no.
I figured I could read some of these here, but we can also talk about it ourselves.
Okay.
The question is simple. People who stay awake late in the middle of the night, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing. Help.
There's nothing going on. Not smoking weed. That's it.
Okay, so it is very hard. I will say this: I try to clean when I'm not working. I try my best to clean, but because right now we are in a complex. Surrounded by people. If I was in a standalone house, this would not be a problem. But sometimes I'm like, it's after 10. I can't vacuum.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't make that much noise. But you know, I do literally everything that you guys do during the day, except if things are closed. So
can I just say that Sam in general is one of those types of cleaners that is.
Oh no.
She's okay. This isn't a bad thing, I promise. But it just shows you Sam's mind, right? So she's the kind of person who'll be like, you know what? She's like, I'm gonna do the dishes real quick. I'm gonna clean up the dishes. I'm like, okay, cool, right? And then like I might walk into the kitchen like 15 minutes later, and all the contents of the fridge are on the floor and in trash bags. And I'm like, what happened? And she's like, oh well. I was gonna do the dishes, but like this one dish was like in the fridge, and I figured, I'll throw it out because it's just leftover food. So I figured I'd throw it out to clean it. But since I was throwing that out, I figured, well, I should just throw out all this, and then suddenly the fridge gets like immaculately cleaned, but like the dishes are the exact same. But it's like so something gets like immaculately cleaned, but it's like you never know what it's gonna be. So because it just depends on the. It's like it's the distraction. So like same time, it's like something, and that's what I'm saying. It's something's done, so it doesn't really matter. Something's clean.
AJ, it's called quite possibly undiagnosed ADD. Yeah. Okay.
I would definitely say it.
It'll literally, and at the end of the day, the fridge is gonna look fucking awesome, and it's gonna be spotless. So like, it doesn't really matter like what she says she's gonna clean, because something is gonna get perfectly cleaned. You know, it could be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna vacuum the living room, right? But then suddenly, like all the cords are like fucking perfect. I'm like, okay, cool, that works too. You know, like everything, something always, like, I'm seeing. Okay, he's speaking of cords.
Oh, he's getting stuck in stuff.
On something. I saw your Switch dock move on its own like a fucking poltergeist. Yeah, Sam will literally be like, all right, I'm gonna do this load of laundry, and then she'll disappear, and she'll be outside fucking waxing the car. I'm like, how'd you get here? Like, well, I was taking
more sense that way. Yeah, okay.
But it always works. So like,
something's getting cleaned.
Something's getting cleaned. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is, I'm literally the exact same way. Like, I'm one of those people that if I go to like, and it's I genuinely don't know if it's like an undiagnosed like ADD or whatever thing, because like say I go to clean like the bedroom, right? And I'm gonna start picking stuff up. If I make the mistake of like pulling something out from under the bed and I look at it and it's like a box, then I'm like, I have to unpack this box. So like, and so it'll be then I'm like, I have to find a spot to put all these things that I just unpacked from this box. You know, like it's a weird like, I go down this rabbit hole and then I have to like reverse engineer cleaning, if that makes any sense. Like I have to make more of a mess before I can clean it.
Ooh.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, so like even like the living room, like if I'm gonna like just like go into vacuum mode, I can't like just vacuum the stuff. I have to like fucking pick up like I should be picking up everything anyway, but like I have to like pick up the shit that doesn't need to be picked up, and like I have to vacuum under fucking like the rugs and shit, and like I have to like fucking it's this weird thing, and I'll notice the cords because like I pull up the rug, oh my cords that are under the rugs, they're fucked up, so now I gotta fix those cords. It's literally like this reverse engineering bullshit of like getting distracted, but again, something's getting cleaned at the end of the day. So I went way off topic.
I know, I was about to say,
what do you do in the middle of the night?
What else do I do in the middle of the night? I work on literally everything. Like I'm trying to think of like years and years ago what my excuse would be, but it's literally been the same thing all the time. I've just always, my entire life, have had a fucked up sleep schedule, and it's literally been being unable to fall asleep, insomnia, you know, just being unable to stay asleep. So it's literally me doing everything that everybody else in the world does, except just at night.
This first response here, the top response was just saying, trying to prolong the night and stave off the new day.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like that was me as a kid, especially on like Sundays, like the whole like, oh, I gotta go back to school or whatever, you know, like, so that was a thing where like, I hated Sundays because like I would stay up later because I didn't want to go to school, but then like then it clicked in my head. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna feel worse tomorrow now because I still have to get up.
The whole week.
Yeah, and that's how I was when I was younger. But like, nowadays I feel like, I mean, one, I work nights. I've worked nights for fucking way too long, so that's always been a thing. But my schedule, even when I wasn't working, has always been a night shift thing. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I think the big answer is just fucking nothing. I want to say I'm working on stuff, but I'm fucking not. Like, most of the time, I'm literally laying in bed, watching a fucking YouTube video on my phone, and going down a random rabbit hole until I get tired. That's what I'm doing. Like, like I'm not fucking working on anything when I'm laying fucking in bed for fucking 6 hours. It's literally, I'm on my phone trying to find something
playing the Switch or something. Just winding down.
That's what's actually happening. Is I'm playing Switch. I'm playing a Switch, or I'm just like laying in bed and I'm looking at YouTube videos. And usually that's usually when I watch the weirder YouTube videos, because I have a lot of things like I typically watch, like I save my favorites, but at night is where I just watch the suggested feed. And I do this thing where I don't actually click on the video to watch it. I just like, if you're scrolling through your suggested feed and you stop on a video, it'll start playing in the feed, but it plays with no audio. So like, I'll literally watch videos with no audio, and usually it's the weird shit like, oh, here's this guy who's fucking like, you know, it's like the hydraulic press bullshit, or like, or it's like, here's this guy who's forging a sword out of a fucking rusted piece of metal that he found on a railroad track, you know, like some weird dumb bullshit that only ever pops up at like 3, 4 in the morning on YouTube. The other times where I'm like awake and I'm not like trying to sleep, it's usually just fucking playing a game, honestly. It's just fucking chilling and playing a game out in the living room, and then feeling guilty when I look outside and going, oh shit, it's 6 a.m.
And the sun comes up and the birds are like, go the fuck to sleep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, out here, it's, oh shit, it's 4 a.m. because the sun's up, because for some reason it comes up fucking early as hell. But
yeah, that sounds about right. Cries and insomnia. Yeah, that. That's what somebody posted, cries and insomnia.
Yeah, a lot of this is just people saying like they're staving off the next day, or they're literally doing nothing. And I think that's a big thing it's a big thing that makes me kind of not want to be a night person anymore. And I actually, like last year, there was a time where we really fixed our schedules, and it was kind of on accident, and I really fucking enjoyed it. And I would have enjoyed it a lot more if it was not during a fucking global pandemic, when we could have actually enjoyed it more and gone out and done shit. But it was nice, like seeing the sun and like going to a fucking park and shit, right? But now it's like, as I've gotten older and like been like, now I'm like in my fucking mid-30s and shit, you realize there's nothing to do at night. So when you are a night owl person, you are just awake when nothing else is up. And now everything else is that much harder to do. Oh, you need to go to the fucking bank. You got to take your dog to the vet. You got to do anything in the fucking daylight. That just means you don't get to sleep. You know, like that's like you just have to fucking either stay awake longer and do it and fuck your schedule up even more and feel even more guilty that you fucked your schedule up even more, or you just fucking stay awake for a whole day, I guess. Like, it's like, if you're a night owl person, that also coincides with just losing like an entire day of sleep occasionally, like once every couple of weeks, just because.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just because, you know.
The three of us all do 24-hour awake at least once a month.
And because unlike people who sleep normal schedules, like when you sleep at night, or when you sleep in the day, basically, and you're a night person, it's not like, oh, you know, people go to sleep at 10 p.m. every night. We're not like, oh, we go to sleep at like 4 a.m. every day. It's more or less like, we go to sleep at 4 a.m. And the next day it's like, we go to sleep at 5 a.m. And the next day it's like, we went to sleep at 9 a.m. It just shifts. It just keeps shifting. It's not consistent.
It's always shifting forward.
And that's another thing too, is it literally always is shifting forward. So like when we're like staying awake, you can bet your fucking ass most of the time it's because we're trying to sleep. It's not like, oh, I'm staying awake and we're just living our life and we're doing what you guys do in the daytime, but we're doing it at night. No, we're just losing more of our life. Like, that's literally what we're doing at night. We're just doing nothing and trying to sleep and going, why can't I fucking fall asleep?
Why can't we just be normal in sleep?
We've talked about like, it'd be cool to like do like a sleep study or something. Like,
I would love to do some type of sleep study and see if there's like anything that can be done for this. I have looked into what is it called? It's like late sleep something. God damn, I forgot the term for it, but basically it's where like your body just, it can't go to sleep. You don't necessarily have insomnia. It's just that your body can't restfully go to sleep. But once you are asleep, you stay asleep. Because insomnia is usually like, oh, well, I can't sleep. But also, if I do fall asleep, like, I'll wake up 2 hours later or something like that. Or like an hour later, right? But like this like fuck, I'll have to look it up. If I figure it out, it's going to come to me literally right after we stop recording. It always does. But yeah.
I've always been like, just go to sleep mad late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, as soon as I hit like the teenage years, that's when it started going downhill.
No joke for me. I think it was literally the internet.
Yeah.
Once we got internet at home.
Maybe. Because we're all around the same age.
Because like the internet was a big fucking deal. You know, like for a long time, like when we'd go over to like my mom's house, there would be days like on like she'd pick us up from school. So, like we like my parents were divorced. We had like visitation bullshit or whatever, right? There'd be days where my mom would take us to the library for an internet day. That was like the fun thing to do. Is like we were all going to go on the internet together at the library, right? But when we finally got internet at home, at my mom's and my dad's house, it became like, okay, well, like we all like the internet, but we all got to share it. We only have one computer, you know? So like if I'm the last one to use it, I'm just going to end up fucking staying up late because I want my time on the internet, you know? And then it just became a thing. Like you just do that as a fucking young kid. And then just suddenly now.
I'd be onto something actually.
Here we are. Like,
because like before the internet like that, like, TV, like there was only so much you can entertain yourself with because TV at a certain point would just be weird infomercials or like things that
or the channel would just turn off.
Yeah, remember when the channels just turned off? Remember when TV literally ended?
Yeah, that's right.
They would play the goddamn anthem, national anthem, and it would just turn to black.
God, bro, we're old. But yeah, so the channels would turn off, or at a certain time, like around 1 a.m., 2 a.m., it would just be infomercials that's not entertaining. So you would have to go to sleep because there was nothing else to do.
Yep.
And let me tell you, if I could go to sleep at 1 or 2 a.m., that would be a godsend. I would take that as a win.
And that's just it. I wish, like, even with my schedule, right? I get out of work at 6:30 in the morning. And there's a part of me I'm like, damn, if I get out at 6:30, if I could just fall asleep right at 6:30 a.m., theoretically, I should be able to get up at like noon or like 12:30 and be fine and like have my whole day. But it just doesn't work that way. Yeah. Like it just does not work. Like that's 6 hours of sleep. That should be fine. Even if I could get up at 2:30, that would be 8 hours of sleep. That should be fine. But I'm never going to be able to fall asleep. I mean, because like any other job, who falls asleep as soon as they get off work? You know,
your
like
mind is still racing. You know.
So it's just like I want to fall asleep as soon as I get off work, but like. It's just, and the funny thing is, I picked this topic because I thought there'd be a lot of funny things in here, and everybody just fucking basically devolved into talking about like just the same thing, like the same 4 things we just talked about. Like it's almost a little depressing that like it's just like people like I'm literally just trying to sleep. Like that's what I'm doing. Like
I looked it up because it was driving me crazy. It's called delayed sleep phase syndrome. It is a disorder in which a person's sleep is delayed by 2 hours or more beyond what is considered an acceptable amount. So basically going, okay, so everybody else is going to bed at 8 p.m. and you're like,
who the fuck goes to sleep at 8 p.m.? What? That is dinner time. But that's part of the reason why I don't work at 4 a.m. bars anymore, because if we close at 4 a.m., I still have to clean and do all the money. So I'm not leaving for at least another hour, right? It's going to take me at least an hour to get home. So at the very earliest, I'm not getting home until the sun is up, right? 6 a.m. Between 6 and 8 a.m. At any 4 a.m. bar in New York. And of course, I would make a lot more money if I worked at a 4 a.m. bar. But it's not good for my mental health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I literally can't do it anymore. I cannot work at a 4 a.m. bar.
Ugh.
The thought of it is just like a joke to me. I'm like, a 4 a.m. bar? No, ma'am.
Yeah, the bar I worked at, it closed at 2, but you still had to, like you said, clean up, cash out. All that shit takes at least an hour.
At least an hour. Then you got time to travel back home. Yeah, I wasn't getting home until like fucking 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Or you gotta get something to eat, because you're starving.
Yeah, I would love to eat. But of course, that was when I was at my most unhealthy, because I legit would eat bar food all the time because I couldn't get a break. Yeah, I couldn't get anything. I can't leave.
The only thing that's open at 5 or 6 a.m. is like 7-Eleven or other bars, after hours bars.
Yep.
Getting more fried bar food.
Fucking McDonald's, 24 hours McDonald's. Yeah. I think people don't realize that too. Is it's really hard to be on this kind of schedule as well because the rest of the world literally does not cater to you at all.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, if we want to grab lunch, our lunch really quickly at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. The only thing open is a 24-hour diner or McDonald's. That's it.
Yeah, like you can't. It's like, oh, let me just go get some like quick Thai food or whatever. That shit doesn't exist.
You know, like it used to be that I could at least run to like something like a 24-hour Walmart and be like, oh, I'm gonna pick up like a frozen lasagna or something like that and throw it in the oven. I can't do that. This is the first state I've ever lived in where there's no 24-hour Walmart. This Walmart closes at fucking like 10 o'clock. Oh, what the fuck? 1 a.m.
Yeah, they close at 1.
They shouldn't close at all. What the fuck?
I think someone.
Yeah, you live in a city. That boggles my mind. You don't live in like Podunk, so I don't. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
I think it's funny. It's one of the people said like that. It's called revenge sleep deprivation. You stay awake because it's the only time you have under this capitalist nightmare.
Yep.
And like that's.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's true though.
Right.
How come they all? Where are their rewards? Like, holy shit, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
We never have time to ourselves ever.
That's a whole fucking. That's a whole topic we could fucking ramble on for fucking hours on.
Wow, we're finding out a lot about ourselves this minisode.
But this minisode has become fucking beefy, so we should go ahead and wrap this up.
But it's our first of the season, so you know what? Get used to it. There you go.
Yeah.
We fixed this.
We will. So we're gonna wrap up our minisode here, but we will be back this coming Wednesday for a full episode. This is season 3, so things will be, I mean, like a little different, but not that much different. Still stories, still whatever the fuck we want to talk about. But like, we're not gonna fucking pigeonhole ourselves with just the same fucking everyone sucks here or am I the assholes in relationships and wedding stories. Like we're trying. Basically, any stories we got, we're going to talk about. So if you guys have stories you want to share, or whether they're from fucking Reddit or real life or whatever, be sure to share them with us in our gilded, gilded.gg/everyone sucks here. Hit us up on, fucking Twitter, ESH Podcast. Shoot us an email at contact@everyonesuckshere.com. That's all I got. So, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Full episode.
What's that?
Be back on Wednesday for the full episode.
Yeah,
come back on Wednesday for the full episode. And
happy season 3, everyone.
Happy season 3.
Yeah.
Goodbye.